Well, welcome back. Today we kick off the annual Toys for Tots campaign. WBAY is proud to once again team up with the United States Marine Corps Reserve and the Salvation Army to help bring some holiday joy to kids and families in need. We have a list of new toy drop-off locations on our website, or you can just drop them off right there in our lobby between now and the last call on December 11th. We welcome in a familiar face here, Becky Darrow from the Salvation Army. We spoke with her about coats for kids. We're going to talk now about Toys for Tots, but I'm wondering if there's any synergy there, Becky, between what you see in the Coats for Kids campaigns in terms of donations and what that could indicate how you're going to do here for Toys for Tots.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the families that come and sign up for our Coats for Kids program are often some of the same families that we serve at Christmas. So, you know, Coats really helps kick off the season of giving for our program, so we're hoping that kind of rolls right into Christmas.
How would you assess the giving that you saw in the Coats for Kids and what you think you can count on then going forward for Toys for Tots?
Yeah, I know I can count on our community to pull through. With Coats, we definitely had enough.
Okay.
You know, in terms of monetary donations, which helps us to purchase sizes that we need, but definitely having enough coats for the kids that came through, we were well taken care of.
All right, you mentioned there what sizes you need. We get into specifics at times, and sometimes we forget. We just buy a bunch of toys for like 4 or 5 years old. 4 or 5 year olds, excuse me. But do you already know where that niche need is for this year for Toys for Tots?
So registration just started today. So we don't yet know how many in each age bracket there are, but people like to buy the toys for the 5 to 7-year-old kids. They are the fun ones, but we do always have that gap for the teens. Teens are hard to shop for, but they're just as much deserving of a good Christmas as the little kids.
Toys for Tots always seems to me to be this plug-and-play campaign, right? Everybody is pretty familiar with Toys for Tots at this point, right? And it's a nationwide thing. It's been going on since 1947. But is there still a need to get your message out? In other words, you can't just say, hey, it's Toys for Tots and everything takes care of itself. It's not on autopilot, is it?
It's not on autopilot because people need to know where it is that they can access, you know, where is it convenient for drop-off locations and understanding what that really means. I don't think people necessarily understand who it is that we're supporting and all that goes behind it.
What do you need folks out there to know who need to register, who want to register so they can be the beneficiaries of this program? Yeah,
so registration has been the same for quite a few years, so it's online. saangeltree.org is the online registration format. But if people really need support, we do have a help day on the 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. at our office, where they can come and get help with registering.
You think one help day is going to be enough?
I do, yeah. We've offered a one help day in years past, and it's normally maybe 15 or 20 families that come through for that assistance.
Terrific. Becky, thanks so much for getting us kick-started here, and I'm sure we'll visit again along the way.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Well, the Salvation Army doesn't do all the heavy lifting for this campaign. As we mentioned, they call on the Marines to help. And now we welcome in Staff Sergeant Patrick Garcia of the United States Marine Corps. And before we talk for Toys for Tots, happy birthday to the Marine Corps. That was yesterday.
Thank you.
And happy Veterans Day to you as well.
I appreciate your support.
You know, one of the things we talk about with your participation, the Marine Corps Reserves, in this program is that last call. Everybody's familiar with it. That last day they drop off the toys, you guys looking sharp. One of your former colleagues used to call it looking tight, 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 showing up for the toys because of the uniform. It's very impressive. I'm just, your impressions and why it's so important for you to wear that uniform.
I think the most important part is they see who's basically head of the foundation, right? People wonder, like, what's Toys for Tots? But really, it's a Marine Corps Reserve function that the Marine Corps Reserve, it was started back in
1947.
1947 by the Major Hendricks out there. And, you know, it shows a really good face of the Marine Corps. Back then, it was like what made the Marine Corps survive. You know, why did the Marine Corps need a reserve? And that was what really saved them. But it shows like gives a face to like who's giving these toys to these kids, like, and it's like, oh, that man with that fancy suit on, that's really awesome.
Not the red one with the white beard.
No.
This fancy suit right here, which I know it means a lot to you to wear the uniform as well. What kind of challenge is it for you? You have been involved with this since you've been billeted in this area as kind of an assistant, if you will.
That's right.
For Staff Sergeant Raiders from before, but now you take over. So what kind of challenge is it for you?
I think working with all the new organizations, I did a really good turnover with Staff Sergeant Raiders, and he did with all the other jobs that I took over from him, he did a great job giving me all the tools to be successful. And I worked really heavy with him with the Salvation Army, Greater House of Hope, just to name, a couple of them, right? That without him, I wouldn't have been as successful as I am, as successful as we've been so far this year.
Yeah,
definitely.
Outside of the final call, one of your other duties for this is recruiting, so you have guys to help you out on the final call. But what else is involved for you between now and then with this program?
Well, we have several toy buys that we do. So we did a toy buy with Golden House. We're doing a toy buy. We did a toy buy with Big Brother, Big Sister. We just do toy buys from here and there for foundations that basically service families in need. So the whole goal, the target audience is families that are less fortunate. And basically, I'm going out of my way, almost in a way, to find the most organizations that fit that criteria. And I've linked up with at least 10 already. And we have, set up toy buys, or I've linked them to the final distribution that we do with Salvation Army. So, and I'm doing what I can, because there's a big pot of money that we can basically buy toys. Why not use it, right?
It is that time of year. Staff Sergeant Garcia, thank you so much. We look forward to meeting with you again on Final Call.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.